the input from the user, and how to initialize the variables. Have you noticed that while creating the variables, we can only store a single value in a variable? That's a bit of a problem. What if I want to store 100 of value? That means I had to create 100 variables. That is a space expensive task, but I don't want that. We talked much more about how the Python can provide you with the flexibility. Here also the Python provides you with the data structure called as a list. A list is a very famous data structure in the Python that is a mutable or changeable, is an ordered sequence of elements. Each element or value that is inside of a list is called as an item. Lists are great to use when you want to work with many related values. Well, when you're working with a list, you don't have to worry about the data types. You can write all the data types, including the integer, the floats, anything you want. Let's just start by creating a list. Now open up your Python terminal. Well, to create a list, you need to keep in mind that you need to use the rectangular brackets. Whatever you write inside the rectangular brackets, it's going to be inside a list. Now here I created an empty list with name L. Or what I can do, I can create my own list with the own set of values like hello 12 15.3 welcome, and when I run it, it has been compiled. So when I just print L, you can see that it automatically fetches the information inside the list and shows it to you. The main advantage of using a list is that it's a dynamic in nature. You don't have to specify the size of a list. The more data values that you write inside the list, the size of the list is going to increase. That's an advantage of using a list. When I just print the list L, it shows me the whole length of information. But I don't want that. I just want to print out the 12. So to fetch a particular value inside a list, we uses the index. The index is the position that is relevant to the value that is inside the list. The index always starts from the 0. That means if I want to fetch the hello, then I had to use the index 0. For 12, I have index 1. For 15.3, I have index 2. And for welcome, I have index 3. How can I print it out? Well, it's pretty simple. You can write print L and then the rectangular brackets, and then you specify the index. If I print 0 and hit enter, you can see hello. If I print 1, it sees me 12. If I go to 2, it sees me. What would happen if I print 4? It will give you an error, list index out of range. It's because there is no such element as L4. Well, we can write it down as 16. And if I run it, I had to compile it first, and if I run it, then you can see it shows me 16. Pretty simple, right? Let's just work with some of the most effective methods that are already present in the list. We can start up by finding the length of a list. Well, as the name suggests, we are trying to find the length of a list. So Python provides you with an inbuilt function called as an length, and then we need to pass the list L. So you can see that we had 5 elements in it, and the length of the list is 5. If you want to print the last element of the list, then this function could be very helpful. To print out the last element, you can write in the index as length of L, and you can subtract 1 from it. And if you do that, you can see that it prints the last element. But there is another shortcut to it. If you want to print the last element of a list, you just had to write -1. It will provide you with the last element. You can think of it as if you are moving from left to right, then the index starts from 0 to n, and if you move from right to left, then it starts from -1. That means if I want to print the second last element of the list, I just have to go and write print L and -2. And if I did that, we can see welcome. If I go for -3, 15.3. So you can work with the list in both the directions. That's pretty funny. Now our next method is adding an element to the list. Now let's just create another empty list, that is J. We created an empty list and I want to add an element to it. So to add an element, we uses a function called append. So you need to write J dot append and whatever you want to write in. So let's say first element. You hit enter and it's already there. So you can print it out. Print J. Oh, it works for the twice because I compiled it twice. So you can see we can add an element by using the append method. If I again append it, you will see if I append 12 in it, and if I print J, you can see 12 is appended. So the append functions add the values to the last of the list. The another function that we are going to take a look is the pop function. Now using the pop function to delete the last element of the list. So what you need to do, you need to write J dot pop, and when you just compile it, you can see now if I just print J, you can see that the last element 12 is gone now. The next function is the range function. What does range do? Well, in the very beginning, we have seen that when we just print out the L, we can see the whole length of values. What if I want to see only a particular of them? Let's say I want to choose a range of them. So let's just create another list with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 with the 9 values. I just created a list and now I want to print out those that ranges from 2 to 5. So since our index starts from 0 and I want to print out the range from 1 to 5, that means I had to start from index 1 up to index 4. So I need to write it here x, then again square brackets, I want to go from 1 to 4. And if I did that, you can see 2, 3, and 4. So it goes from index 1, index 2, and index 3. Index 1, 2, index 2, 3, index 3, 4. So you can select these ranges. Even you can provide a variation to it. If you want to get the range that starts from the beginning till some point, then to do that you need to go for print x. You need to keep the first value empty, and then you need to specify up to which point you want to go. If you wrote 5 in it, then it goes up to index 4. So if I did that and enter, you can see that it goes from index 0 to index 4. Index 0, 1, 2, 3, and index 4. If I want to go from some point till the end, then you need to go make a variation, like you need to specify the points where you want to begin. Like I want to begin from 5th index till end. So up till end, you need to keep it empty. If I did that, you can see it starts from the index 5th. The index 5th, that is value 6, 7, 8, and 9. Right? Okay. So the most advanced version of the range function is if you wanna increase the increment factor, like you can see that it is iterating by a single value, 6, then 7, then 8, then 9. And we have values from 1 to 9. So you are printing the values, keeping a square brackets. You want to go from initial up till end. Let's go with like we want to start from 0 to 9. And here you need to provide the incremental factor. By default, it's 1. If you don't specify it, it's going to be 1. Now, it is going to provide you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But if you change it to, it's going to provide you 1, 2, 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. It is skipping one of the value in the list. We had our list L, and I want to remove the 12, and instead of 12 I want to put up 15. So basically I want to override the index value 1 with a new value of 15. So how can I do that? Now we can fetch a value by the index. So index is going to help us. How? You need to specify list, that is L, then you need to specify its index value that you want to update. So I want to update the index value 1, that is 12. So 1 equals 15. And if then I print out L, you can see instead of 12, we have 15. Another variation in the insertion operation would be, I want to insert an element in between 15 and 15.3. I want to insert a new element by keeping my list as it is. So I can do it by using an insert method. So all I need to do is to write L, that is my list, dot insert. Then you need to specify the index where you want to put your new element. So I want to put it on index 2, that is between 15 and 15.3. So 2, and the value that I am going to put in between is, let's say, mid. If I did that and print L, you can see we had a new value mid. And if I print out the length of L, you can see it has been increased to 6. Moving to the deletion part. What if I want to delete some elements from the list? So again, index is the only thing that can help you with that. So if I want to delete, that means I need to use the delete method. So I write delete, then the name of my list, and then I need to specify the index. So I want to delete the mid. The index of the mid is 2. So if I specify 2, and after that if I print L, you can see it's gone. Although delete operator is very powerful operator. You can not only delete the element, but you can delete the entire list from it. So if I write delete j, it has been compiled, and if I try to print j, it shows me error, j is not defined, because the j has been completely deleted off. Let's say I have two lists, one with numerical part and another list with some names. Let's say we want to write A or B or any numbers. So we had two lists, L and J. Now I want to join these two lists. So the one way of doing is by the addition operator. What you can do is type in print L plus J. If I did that, you can see it append the list into a single one. Now, the another way of doing this is using a method, which is an extend method. So all you need to do is to choose the list which is going to be a super list that is going to append the element of other. So I want to consider L as my super list. So L dot extend, and then I pass in the another list that I want to add it. So I put in right J, and then I print out L. Now you can see it has done the same operation that we did with the plus operator. Now the next function that we are gonna take a look on is the sort function. Let's say I have a list as 2, 3, 1, 5, 2, 3, 1, and 5, and I want to sort it in ascending order. So I just need to do is print L dot sort. If I run that, if I run that, now you can see that we have sorted out our list. So all you need to do is to write the sort function. Now it's an ascending order. What if you want to make it in descending order? So you need to write an parameter here, reverse equals true. If you do that and enter, and now it has been reversed.